Bob, it's not that I'm lazy. It's that I just don't care.
Don't care?
It's a problem of motivation, all right? Now, if I work my ass off and Initech ships a few extra units, I don't see another dime. So where's the motivation?
And here's something else, Bob. I have 8 different bosses right now.
I beg your pardon?
8 bosses.
8?
8, Bob. So that means that when I make a mistake, I have 8 different people coming by to tell me about it. That's my only real motivation, is not to be hassled. That and the fear of losing my job. But you know, Bob, that'll only make someone work just hard enough not to get fired.
So we're talking about human relations. Let's begin with the definition from the text. They say human relations is the assumption that all people want to feel united, tied, bound to something, some cause bigger than they, commanding them yet worthy of them, summoning them to significance in living. This early theory of organizations emphasized the interpersonal and social needs of individuals and marked a break from other early points of view. Only cooperation among people working together in groups under good leadership would produce excellence in the workplace, neighborhood, or community. In other words, human relations empowers the employee so they feel like they directly impact the company. So how does it influence the organization? Well, human relations boosts morale and heightens a sense of motivation for employees of an organization. It improves efficiency and productivity. With a sense of belonging, it increases stability. However, there are negatives. It can cause a false sense of openness and also an abuse of trust and/or honesty. So why human relations? Well, as you increase one's personal responsibility in an organization, they develop a sense of pride in the forward progress and view themselves more as a stakeholder in the organization. It is vital to foster an environment where an employee's long-term goals align with the vision of the organization. To gain mutual respect, an organization must reciprocate concern for well-being, which inspires everyone's best work. Now, let's go to Jennifer Lombardo, who expands upon this in a great way.
Have you ever felt as if you were insignificant to your company? Did your work seem more concerned about profits and sales than your own job motivation, interests, and attitudes? For many years, companies ignored employees' own personal development. This in turn led to negative attitudes, high turnover, high absenteeism, and poor job commitment. When companies focus only on the production and profits of their business, they ignore the human behavioral issues of people. The human relations movement in organizational behavior focuses instead on the person as an individual and analyzes what motivates and cultivates their achievement in a work setting. Employee attitudes towards work became important to a successful company. Let's take a jaunt back in time to see how the movement became a significant part of organizational behavior. In the early 1900s, the framework for the human relations movement was being built. Companies realized that a monetary incentive was not the only factor to increasing production. Elton Mayo, an organizational psychologist, was the father of the human relations movement. He was the first to realize that worker output and satisfaction were linked to social factors, such as the way employees were treated on the job. The 1927 Hawthorne experiment further proved the relationship between the understanding of worker psychology and output. In this experiment, psychologists developed a theory that additional lighting would have a positive effect on worker factory output. They increased the lighting, and they were correct, as production soared. In addition, the scientists lowered the lighting to a dismal amount, assuming that production would fall. Surprisingly, production increased even more, and this led to the discovery that the factory workers were overperforming because they knew they were being watched as part of the study. This result became known as the Hawthorne effect. The attention from the study made them feel important and resulted in better output. This solidified the acceptance of the human relations movement.